This Matchday 25 picks edition of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with the promo code PLGP to get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Earn up to $750 per month on your sports gambling transactions. Go to edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Thursday, the 13th of February. Yeah. And we are here to put a wrap on the Champions League and Premier League games from midweek before we get stuck into another full week of Matchday 25 action. Joining me, overwhelmed with enthusiasm, I could tell by his face. He claims he's poorly again. I don't know what's wrong with him. Is Mr. Barry Penaluna. Barry, what's happening?
I'm not quite poorly yet. I've got the beginnings of a cold. You know, when you feel it at the back of your nose and you start to get the headache. But I've also got my fucking insides are rotten, like bad stomach, all of that crap. And I'm currently coping quite okay with it. I'm miserable because I've got a meal booked tomorrow night, which has cost me about 250 quid. And if I'm feeling like shit tomorrow, I'm going to be furious. So fingers crossed, I'm a bit better tomorrow.
Yes, fingers crossed indeed, Barry. Right, first question of the night, Barry, because this just happened when we were doing the countdown to the show and you weren't aware. Have you been watching, well, I know the answer, the Super League tonight?
Nope.
So, first night of the Super League, Barry, opening night, Wigan, who won everything last year, won all 4 trophies. They've opened tonight. It's home to Leigh Leopards. It's just finished, Barry. What was the final score in the Wigan versus Leigh Leopards game?
I'm going to say, by the fact you said, oh, they've done it, I'm going to think Wigan have scored 100 points and Leigh have got none.
You're there, Barry. Leigh won 1-0.
1-0?
80 minutes of 0-0.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was incredible. I've never seen anything like it. 0-0 at half-time. I thought that's a little bit weird. I've then been out to pick the IT department up, pissed as a fart because it's our 40th. We'll get to that in a minute. It got back in 74 minutes. It's still 0-0. It's gone full-time 0-0. And I thought it was a draw, but they've gone golden point, Baz. They've gone golden point. Leigh have tossed it back to the bloke 22 yards out and he sailed the drop kick over for a 1-pointer and they've won 1-0.
I mean, I didn't even know Leigh played in the Super League, to be honest. I mean, you should clarify for any American listeners what the Super League is. It's rugby of a format different to anything they've probably seen. Rugby league, to be precise.
It's rugby league. Well, they're going to say it soon, Baz, because there's a round of fixtures being played in Las Vegas next month, of all things, at the Raiders Stadium. Yeah, there's 2 NRL games, which is the Australian League. Then the Australian women play the England women. And then Warrington play, I want to say Wigan, all in Vegas. So, but yeah, I love the rugby league. It's good crack. But that was astonishing. Like, I don't know what price you would have got on 1-0. Yeah, pretty good. Who's in the chat here? It was like Scott Parker was managing both teams in the Super League. Maybe he's got himself another job. James Mafia was first in. James, how you doing? Smudger is here. Callum, everyone's moaning about the Liverpool game. We'll get that in a bit. Harry's here. Chelsea. Joe Dollar insists on trying to needle me. I'm not biting Joe. Austin has joined us. Ian lights out. Joe Bamber's last in as well. So if you are lurking in the chat, by all means, say hello. As I've just reported, Baz, it was the IT department. Well, it is the IT department's 40th birthday. Luckily, I haven't seen her at all. She went to the office at 7:15 this morning. And she's just rolled in about 15 minutes ago. I've just been and picked her up. So literally, I've had no dealings. So she appears mildly content with all the shit and tat that I bought her on behalf of me and the kids, which she doesn't need or want. But she's come back in with loads of stuff from work that she appears to want. So that's sorted that out, Baz. That's got me out of the shit. We're slightly more sober tonight than we were on Monday, which means battleships will be back. Everyone was slightly concerned about that. What else? Fun week of games, Barry. I don't know where you want to start. Like, we'll get to the picks in a minute. But the games themselves, and I think the two headliners were Everton Liverpool last night, which was just a load of fun. And then City and Madrid the night before, which was also a load of fun for fairly similar reasons, actually. What did you make of all of that, Baz?
Yeah, another few good days of football. Even Forest and Exeter was another, yes. Finished off the FA Cup with a bit more, decent competition from lower league sides, giving a good account of themselves. Exeter taking Forest to penalties. Didn't acquit themselves very well in the penalty shootout. But they did have a keeper who was... Did he watch that penalty shootout?
Yeah.
The Exeter goalkeeper was about 5 foot tall.
He was titchy. I put that on. I thought... I didn't know the final score because I thought it had finished. So when I put it on, it was about 11 o'clock. So I thought it must have been on +1 or it was highlights or something. I thought, I'll watch the end of this and see what the score was. Well, it turns out it was still live because there'd been an injury, I think, Awunyi and stuff like that, extra time. But then they took penalties and the keeper just looked teeny tiny in goal. Yeah, Matt Sells for them filled the goal. And he just didn't. I mean, Forrest banged every penalty right into the upper 90, but he had no chance. 3 of him wouldn't have saved any penalties. It was ridiculous.
I think he went the right way on one of them and got a fingertip to it. And if he was a full-sized keeper, he'd probably saved it. But as soon as that shootout started and you saw him in the goal, he just looked lost in amongst the goal. And he just fell at that point. There is absolutely no chance Forrest don't win this penalty shootout. Absolutely bizarre. Never seen anything like it.
Lee's just saying he spent 10 minutes in Tesco's. Obviously, Valentine's Day tomorrow, and more importantly, Kevin Keegan's birthday. But Valentine's Day tomorrow, Lee said he's just spent 10 minutes in Tesco full of desperate men. I was in Sainsbury's before. Remember on a Thursday, Bob goes to football and right next to Sainsbury's, and I go surfing for cheap bread. I go over yellow sticker shopping. But the amount of just sad, depleted-looking men in that little Valentine's bit of Sainsbury's, just lost souls, men staring off into the middle distance, cry for help. Like, it was absolutely brilliant. I mean, none of that shit going on here. But I very much enjoyed that. I wasn't going to mention it. I sent my heart out to them. But on the grounds Lee's mentioned that he's in Tesco doing the exact same thing. Then, yeah, it was absolutely... It made me laugh that earlier on. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, I sort of killed 2 birds with 1 stone at Christmas Eve, realising I hadn't really got her anything for Christmas. I bought a voucher for a really nice restaurant, and I conveniently booked the really nice restaurant for Valentine's Day, thinking this is good because I can give her the voucher for Christmas, and then Valentine's Day is covered because that's the plan for Valentine's Day. So, yeah.
That's a classic example. If there's any schoolboys watching, this is how you do it. This is educational stuff from Barry. This is
and at the same time, what do I enjoy doing, Malcolm? I like eating nice food stuff and drinking nice wine, so I get to do all that as well. So there you go.
Well, Mrs. Smith's got yellow sticker roses apparently. I got a cheesy baton in Sainsbury's earlier on, but what about that? I spent all night thinking, can I work a cheesy baton joke into the show? But yeah, so I'm sitting here with a cheesy baton. Yeah, massive race for Baz. I got my Wembley tickets today, Barry. Wembley, all of that. Eddie Howe's pot 2 wankers. 93 quid for 2 tickets for the cup finals. All right, isn't it?
93 quid for 2 tickets.
Yeah.
Not bad. I'll give you 500 quid for one.
No, thanks. And I think, the other thing I need to mention is, Barry, the bleeding AI, you and your AI. You know, I've been getting the AI to write the show descriptions, and it's gone mental. This week, the AI wrote the show description, but it used last week's fixtures.
Oof. Controversial.
Yeah. And I didn't instruct it incorrectly because I checked. I said, write the show description for match day 25. And it's headlined Man United v Crystal Palace. Thought, well, we've seen that. So I said to it, what you're playing at? And it said back, oh, sorry, my mistake, and corrected it. That's what the crack's at.
It's intriguing. It is intriguing when you do try and correct it on something. And you do get a little bit of a sincere apology, and it just does it right the second time round. But I mean, it should have got it right.
When I've crashed into a fucking bridge or something, or I've crashed an aeroplane. Gee, sorry, mate. Like, so none of that. Picks, Barry. I mean, well, hang on. Do you want to talk any more about Liverpool Everton because we stopped there?
Yeah, let's talk. I mean, we both put picks out for that. I don't think either of us won.
No.
And I feel a bit unlucky because I gave Everton a chance. I thought Everton would keep it tight, but I ended up going for the unders, factoring in Everton keeping it tight, whereas really I could have just took them on the handicap. But what a great game. Again, you know, because I didn't really care about the outcome as a neutral. It was just a good game to watch, and it had the drama. And who doesn't like teams kicking shit out of each other, and a bit of late drama, and a bit of fisticuffs at the end, and all of that lot. I love it all. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was laughing my tits off in watching that final minute, and everything. It was absolutely brilliant. When you've got no real strong feelings either way. I quite enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was quite happy to see Everton equalise. I say I didn't care. If they'd got beat, I would have laughed at them. If Liverpool had got beat, I would have laughed at them. I wasn't bothered. Everyone's trying to needle us tonight about. I think Callum's having a bit of a whinge about the referee. I thought he had a good game, and I know everyone's going to whinge it. But we're not talking about this, Barry. We need to be better. All this constant gatekeeping. Whether it's Michael Oliver corrupt against Man City, against Liverpool, against Arsenal, whether it's the celebration police, whether it's the Newcastle fans telling the other Newcastle fans that if they don't stand up and sing the whole game, they're going to get their heads kicked in, whether it's people taking the piss out of Birmingham for having fireworks and then kicking the shit out of Newcastle, taking the piss out of Exeter for kicking the shit out of Forest. Everyone just leave everyone else alone. And I know it's not real. So we need to be a little bit better than that, Baz. Do you know who doesn't help the refs? It's the players and the managers. Does anyone blamed in any way Decore or Curtis Jones? Where it's not a bit their fault? Just, why can't they take some responsibility? That was not all the refs' fault.
The one I thought they had a point around was the free kick for the first Everton goal. Looked to dive. But again, that's a player taking a dive. The referee gets one look at it in real time, and it looks like it's coming together. And VAR can't get involved with that because it's just a free kick. So Oliver's been stitched up there by the player cheating. As you say at the end, Decore deserves his card because he goes and celebrates in front of the Liverpool fans. Jones deserves his card. And Slot has just turned into Jurgen Klopp. We did see Slot had come across quite nicely across the season. We did also say that once there was a little bit of adversity, we might see the true colours come out. I didn't realise he's already been booked 3 times and then sent off last night. Fuck him. Get in the stands.
Yeah, agree. Like I say, if the players just take some responsibility. We had this conversation after the Man City Arsenal game when the day Trossard got sent off and all that, and Haaland stuttered the ball off Saliba's head. The players just make it literally impossible for the ref to do a good job by cheating, moaning, by Jones, Corey, and diving. Van Dijk dropping the elbow on someone's head every half an hour for the last 3 months. like, you can't keep blaming the ref. Someone, a manager or someone's just got to take some responsibility. So I'm not buying it at all.
Liverpool fans are everyone looks at it through their own eye, their own, because Liverpool fans are more than that gay. He should have been sent off for a second yellow. Same goes for Bradley. Bradley, I mean, Slot knew straight away Bradley should have been off because he hooked him 30 seconds later. Went both ways, and I thought all of the stuff at the end looked perfectly reasonable to me in terms of the cards that were given out. As I say, I thought that the free kick for the first goal, the second goal, that push in the box was soft. If he'd give it in real time, fair enough. But if he hadn't, I didn't think VAR were going to get involved. And Konate doesn't even argue about that. If you look at the goal going in,
I didn't think it was a foul, but
Konate just puts his head in his hands because the goal's gone in. At no point does he turn to the ref and say, "Oh, I've been pushed." There was barely anything in it. That was soft. And the moan about the Salah one at the other end, I've not seen anything other than I've seen a video which looks like it was taken from a drone 300 foot above the stadium. So you haven't seen anything close enough to decide whether Salah's taken a dive, because he has got previous for that. So that could have been a foul. It might not have been a foul. Who knows? We haven't seen a proper angle. So, yeah, fuck him. Yeah. Good fun.
And if he didn't get it, it's just recompense for all the times he has dived and got away with one. So I agree, Barry. Fuck him all. And we're not Liverpool. Everyone who's not Newcastle or me or you, Barry, fuck him. In fact, fuck you as well. The City Madrid game made me laugh a lot. I was really annoyed. I went out to five-a-side at 8:15 after Madrid had missed 3 golden opportunities. Thought this was a matter of time. Yeah, they drifted to 5-2. By the way, they went off at 5-2. Madrid. Everyone was on them. I think everyone in the chat was on them. We were on them. They missed loads of chances, and then I got in the van. By the time I got to football, it was 1-0. Got back in the van just as they went 2-1 up. I was like, fucking hell, what's going on here? And then just as I parked on the drive, Bob was banging on the window, like, get in here, as Man City capitulated. The handicap on that, Barry, was absolutely perfect, because I know it was the last 3 or 4 minutes, but the fact was, we said Man City couldn't cope for 90 minutes. Whether they concede them after 5 minutes, after 85 minutes, whether they concede them at 20-minute intervals, they were going to fuck that up. And it didn't matter when. That we handicapped that absolutely to death. My Champions League picks.
You talk about that 5-2. If you compare that, we've got Newcastle away to Man City this week. Newcastle are 12-5. So I'm quite happy to hold my hands up and say Real Madrid are a better team than Newcastle United. How are Newcastle a shorter price to beat Man City than Real Madrid were to beat Man City? It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it was absolutely right there, Mad. You're right. Joe saying there were 40-1 in running Man City. I don't know if you got on a little bit, Joe. My Champions League picks were spot on. 5 out of 8 returned 12.7 units for my 8. Actually, over 13 if you give me that extra half a point for Madrid, because we gave them that 2-1. We had 3 2-1 winners in there. Real Madrid. Dortmund was a piece of piss. 3-0, never ever in doubt. And then Benfica were 1-0 up in Monaco. The red card helped us. But 3 lovely picks there. And I think that was about it. So, yeah, absolutely over the moon, Baz. And as it happens, I feel relatively confident about this Premier League card. We have said the two things go hand in hand, haven't they? A winning week breeds a little bit of confidence. But, yeah, I enjoyed the football, and I thought we read it quite well, Baz.
Yeah, well, I didn't really enjoy looking at this card, to be honest. I found a lot of tricky games in it. But yeah, Champions League was good. Tuesday certainly was great. The only thing that let us both down was the unders in the Juventus game. So yeah, I hit the 3 on the Tuesday. Only the 1 winner on the Wednesday night, but it was Benfica at a decent price. So yeah, good little week of Champions League stuff.
Right, okay. We're going to have to rapid fire through 10 Premier League games here, Baz, because we've all the lack of chat we had on Monday when we were hungover, we've managed to splurge it all out in one go here. So we'll get going after. I've told you first about the NASCAR Gambling Podcast is back. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Daytona. If you head there, you can sign up for a free Daytona 500 contest. $100 cash, $100 SGP and gift card. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Daytona. Edge Boost, SGPN has partnered up with Edge Boost, the Premier Visa debit card for bettors. An Edge Boost card allows you to avoid the hassle of having your card denied at the sportsbook, DFS, sweepstake, racetrack, casino. Up to $750 per month in cashback rewards for using your Edge Boost card. The best part is there's no credit checks. It's completely free. You get instant Tier 2 status with our promo code, edgeboost.com, promo code SGPN, edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And my bookie, your place about every sport, live to the casino, tons of locations, lightning fast crypto payouts. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip. mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Right then. Need to press the right buttons here. Soccer, Premier League. We've got a Friday night game here, 8 o'clock on Friday, which is 3 p.m. Eastern time, between Brighton and Hove Albion and Chelsea, where Brighton and Hove Albion are 2-1 underdogs. The draw is 12-5 plus 240. Chelsea 5-4 plus 125. Stopped pretty quickly here, Baz. We saw this game last week in the FA Cup. The same prices. Brighton at 2-1. We backed Brighton at 2-1. Brighton won at 2-1. 1 week later, what's changed? The only thing that's changed is Nicholas Jackson's injured, so they haven't got a striker. So if anything, slightly more in Brighton's favour. There's not enough between these two teams, especially at Brighton, for this not to be a coin toss. I don't know why this isn't 6-4 both ways. And that was my handicap last week. Now, I know it's a little bit lazy. We just said when you have a winner on a team, you feel like you're in the right spot. I don't know why I would change my mind here, Baz. I don't know why. I'll take Brighton at 2-1.
I mean, there's a couple of reasons why you could change your mind. I've gone a similar way. As you say, that very recent comparison sticks in your head and makes it sort of pushes you that way. But it is always hard to know what to do with Brighton. We did see them lose to Everton and then a 7-0 defeat to Forest in back-to-back games before that Chelsea game. So that's still fresh in the memory as well. But Chelsea just don't fill me with much confidence at all lately either. And as you say, they've lost Jackson now. It wasn't exactly firing loads in anyway. 2 wins in the last 3 games for Chelsea versus Wolves and West Ham. But if you look back further, that's also 2 wins in the last 8 games because they've gone 5 without a win before that. Chelsea got no clean sheet in 7 straight league games, and they've conceded 2 or more in 4 of those 7. Sanchez has been dropped, so Jorgensen's going to be in goal now. Big deal. I don't think either of them are up to much. Both teams to scores hit 5 straight games for Chelsea as well. It was the first game I come into where I didn't really like the game for a pick. I don't trust either side, so I just had to sort of pinch my nose and pick something. And like you, I've gone for something that would have hit last week. Chelsea can't keep clean sheets, so I've gone to the Brighton team total. Over 1.5 Brighton goals is 11-10. That'll be my pick here.
Yeah, fair enough. Brighton to win and both teams to score 7-2. Billy, Harry wants to draw. Both teams to score under 4.5 goals from Joe. That's a pick we make when we can't find a better pick, Joe. I don't know if we're allowing that. Saturday morning, lunchtime, 12:30 Eastern, at 12:30 UK time, 7:30 Eastern. Leicester City taking on Arsenal. Leicester are 9-1. The draw is 9-2 plus 450. Arsenal 2-7 minus 350. But
Arsenal's attacking threats strengthened ever so slightly this week with the news Havertz is going to be out for the season. So that's got to be good news for them, isn't it? Surely anybody might do better than Havertz. No, in all seriousness, that does leave them very, very short up front now. Saka, Jesus, Martinelli, now Havertz. Craigie, they're probably going to have to start Raheem Sterling, which is a desperate state of affairs. Will come into it fresh, though. They've had 10 days away in the sun in Dubai because they're out of the Cups. And they should still have enough to beat Leicester. I certainly won't be backing against Arsenal here. Leicester, 8 defeats from the last 9 games. They failed to score in 6 of those 9 defeats, and they lost 8 of them. And they lost 7 of their last 8 defeats. Have come by more than a single goal as well. So when they get beat, they're generally getting properly beat. So I found this one a little bit easier. I'm not too worried about the Havertz injury. He wasn't doing much anyway. I'm just going to take Arsenal on the handicap. Arsenal minus 1.5 here at 10 to 11.
Yeah, I got no interest in Leicester. 1-1, lost 8 of the last 9. The win was against Spurs. In the last 5 defeats, they've only scored 1 goal as well. They've lost every time they've played against the top 6 side. I instinctively fancied Arsenal to win to 0 here. But Arsenal have only kept 1 clean sheet in 6 league games as well. Plenty of unders for Arsenal, especially away from home. They're 8-4 to the under, Baz, in their 12 away games. That's strong data, that. 8-4, under 2.5. That's good enough for me. I know a lot of Arsenal fans have been joking. There's going to be a whole load of 1-0 haram ball wins coming up. And that's exactly what we'll go for, yeah. We'll take the 2-0 though, Baz. Cover your spread as well. But it's a really big price. It's plus money, 13 to 10, plus 130. Arsenal might just squeeze it to death and win 1 or 2-0. So I'll take the under 2.5 goals between Leicester and Arsenal. Pete's Picks has popped in to say hello. He gave us a winner on Monday. Pleasington went and won at round about 6-4 it was. There was a little drift on Tuesday, so well done, Pete. Cheers for that. Jonathan Gray's joined us. Jonathan, welcome along. How are you doing? Half-time, full-time Arsenal. For Jonathan, guess who's back, Barry? It's Berdirium from Uzbekistan. I had a little look the other day, Barry. You know me, I don't get into our analytics much, but I had a little look on the YouTube thing because I wanted to see if that fella from Nepal was still kicking about. You notice gives you a gender breakdown of our listeners, Barry.
Yeah.
0.1% of our listeners are female, Barry. 0.1. And the average listening time, Barry, of the 0.1% was 11 seconds. So what's gone on there? I have no idea. We need to more female interest issues on this show, Barry, to get that listenership up. More women, and we want them to listen for longer than 11 seconds.
Well,
so there you go. So welcome to Ethereum. What, mate?
I can give you some more analytics about Nepal. Nepal is still listening because, funnily enough, I was looking at the analytics for the Spotify downloads the other day. Looking at all the locations, we had Nepal on there, still going strong. There was a few random ones like Zambia's listening. I'll try and get them up. I'll tell you some of the obscure ones. There's a few more females listening on Spotify as well, by the way.
For over or under 11 seconds?
Probably slightly over.
Slightly. Not much. Not much, but slightly. 3 o'clock kickoff. So there's loads to count here. Get ready for this. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 3 o'clock kickoffs on Saturday, starting with Aston Villa taking on Ipswich Town. Villa are 8-19, minus 238. The draw is Burlington Birdie, 100-30. Ipswich 13-2, plus 650. Villa aren't in great form, particularly. No win in 3 in the league. Lost at Wolves last time out. They did beat Spurs in the Cup, and they've got some reinforcements. If you remember, we talked about them, Asensio, Rashford, etc. And they've beaten the teams at the bottom at home. The bad teams at Villa Park. Villa have put to the sword, so I expect them to win this. In Ipswich have absolutely gone to shit again, Barry. They've lost the last 4 in a row by an aggregate score 14-2. Villa can win and can score over 2 goals here. I'm going to take Villa to win and score over 2 goals. 7-5, plus 140.
Yeah, I mean, I've been feeding Villa of late. However, they did look a bit better versus Spurs. Well, that is Spurs, who don't put up much of a fight against anyone lately. And I did come into this thinking I'd fancy Villa here, with Ipswich having lost 4 in a row and just 1 win in 8 league games. Ipswich have really stopped showing any danger of doing anything. For a while we thought they were sort of threatening to beat someone, and then it just hasn't really materialised. I found the price for Villa hugely prohibitive for me. You found something, that's great. Well done, you. 2 to 5 just give me nowhere to go. I couldn't find anything. I couldn't get to a point certainly where I wanted to put Ipswich either. But I'm prepared to give Ipswich a goal. Villa have got 1 clean sheet in the last 14 games in all competitions now. And although Ipswich did fail to score against City and Brighton recently, they managed to get on the score sheet recently in defeats to Southampton and Liverpool in the last couple. I'm just going to take the both teams to score here. I think Ipswich will get a goal. Villa will probably win it. Both teams to score will be the pick between Villa and Ipswich at 4 to 5.
Lee said we might get some more female viewers if I get me cheesy batter out on this stream, which made me laugh. It's in the
There we
kitchen.
go, Malcolm. Let me just jump in there, Malcolm. We get 2.5% of our listeners on Spotify are female. So welcome to the female listeners. Feel free to drop us a comment if you are one of the... To be fair, they've probably stopped listening by this point. But yeah, just to give you some of the countries involved. Ecuador, Zambia, Nigeria, Finland. So yeah, but Nepal's still down there. So yeah, we are still going global, like.
Very good. We'll do some female interest issues. I know what the women like, Barry. Battleships. The women like the battleships. We missed an episode. It caused great consternation on Monday. But we're back, Baz. It's your turn. You've just got my submarine to kill.
I have. And I'm going to kill it soon, like. I am going to kill it. Right, where are we going to go? A3.
No, miss. Good. Right. I desperately need a hit, Barry, to get back into this. Let's have a look at... I thought about this afternoon. I'm going G1.
Oh, I don't like that. It's a hit.
Yes! 1, 2, 3. So that's on fire. There's still one more to get, isn't there? A3.
Miss.
Miss.
Yeah.
Yes. Well done. I'm both back in the game. Absolute thriller, that one. Joe's wishing all our women listeners happy Valentine's Day. All right, Joe. It's not a knocking shot. Bloody hell. Joe's shooting his shot here. Next up on Saturday is Fulham taking on Nottingham Forest. Fulham are 5 to 4, 6 to 5. Yeah, 15 to 13 plus 115. The door's 12 to 5 plus 240. Forest 23 to 10 plus 230, Barry.
It's the moment all Forest fans are waiting for. Forest fans worldwide waiting for me to back against them.
You to fade them. Put them 1-0 up.
I'm going to fuck them up this week, aren't I? Close matchup, this one for me. We know Forest are banging form. Just the one defeat to Bournemouth in their last 12. Did stutter a little bit against Exeter, obviously. I put down against Exeter at the weekend, but of course we all know they pushed that FA Cup all the way to Tuesday. I'm not too bothered about the Exeter result. But Fulham on in bad form themselves. Just 2 defeats in 14 games now for Fulham. A lot more draws in their run than Forest. Forest have got plenty of wins in theirs. Fulham did win the reverse fixture, though, 1-0 earlier in the season. So I'm not fading Forest this week. I actually think if I was picking a side on the money line, I'd probably go Forest at 9 to 4. They look the better value of it. But I'm happy to take goals here. 7 of the last 9 Fulham games have went over 2.5 goals. They've got only 1 clean sheet in those last 9 games. And Forest has just seen their last 4 straight games go over 2.5 as well. I think it's a good price, this. I think it'll be a competitive game. Over 2.5 goals between Fulham and Forest at 11 to 10.
This pick was one I just had to make, really. Fulham been inconsistent, 1-2, lost 2 in the last 4. And they were excellent in Newcastle last week. That always gets in my head a little bit whenever I've first-hand seen someone up here turn us over. It always lives with me a little while. But they've only won 4 out of 12 games at home. So short price favourites to beat the team third in the league doesn't really appeal, just doesn't match. Like Forest, a little bit mental, lost 5-0, bounced back with a 7-0 win. But I think you have to bet them at 23 to 10. They've won Brentford, Man United, Everton, Wolves. I do still think they might have a slide coming, but until it happens, the price is too big. They're sitting in third in the league. They're beating teams like this. We did this a couple of weeks ago against Brentford, I think it was, when they were underdogs, and I didn't get it. So really, I felt obliged to make this pick more than anything else. I think you just have to have a go at the prices. So I'll take Forest, 23 to 10 plus 230. Ian lights out wants the totals ladder on this, goals. A little mini step ladder for Ian like that. Next 3 o'clock kickoff is Manchester City taking on Newcastle United. Manchester City 5 to 6, minus 120. The draw is Burlington Bertie 100 to 30 plus 333. Newcastle are 5 to 2. Same price as Real Madrid. Very similar teams, very clearly. I can't bet Man City at 9 to 10. We've repeatedly, almost like I just felt forced into picking Forest. I feel obliged to fade Man City because it's all we've done and it's worked. It's worked all season. We've had some absolute cash cows on this show. Tottenham, Man United, Man City have been another one. We made money out of either fading them outright or to concede goals. And that has to be the angle here against a relatively rested Newcastle. Man City played a big game on Wednesday. They've got a big look-ahead spot. Newcastle didn't play midweek and rested a lot of players last weekend against Birmingham in the Cup. Now, those 2 home defeats for Newcastle against Bournemouth and Fulham are the problem here. They sort of linger in the back of my mind. But Newcastle have won 4 in a row away in the league, plus a couple of cup games, Birmingham and Arsenal notably as well. They scored minimum 2 in all of them, 6 in a row. It's got to be the Newcastle team total, Baz. We go back to the well. It owes us nothing, that. Akanji's out now for a little while. Someone pointed that out in the chat. So they might have to go back to the calamity at right back, Nunes. Newcastle team total over 1.5, 5 to 4 plus 125.
Yeah, same pick. City defence is just an accident waiting to happen at the minute. And Edison part of that as well. Conceded 14 in the last 6 games. Only 2 clean sheets in the last.
Absolute shit.
Yeah. I mean, they've 2 clean sheets in the last 10 league games. They came against Leicester and Ipswich, who were relegation contenders. And Newcastle have just thrived in these sort of games recently. 3 wins over Arsenal, the 3-3 over Liverpool, being recent examples of just sort of upping their game and not necessarily needing to have loads of the possession to be able to do something. Newcastle, I thought, are a big price at 5 to 2. If they play as aggressively as they did against Arsenal, I think there's no doubt they can force this Man City side into mistakes at the back. So I've gone for exactly the same pick. Newcastle to score 2 or more at 6 to 5. Newcastle have scored 2 or more in 14 of the last 16 games now. Wow. They haven't failed to score in any of those 16 games. So I love it. Newcastle team total for me over 1.5, 6 to 5.
Team. Underdog is here with your pick 'em entries on NBA, NHL, college basketball, whatever your sport. You can cash in with Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. Use our promo code, which is PLGP, to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code PLGP. And SGPN's partner Rhythm, the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds, build your own model, or copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard. NFL picks, NFL props, college basketball, NBA. Rhythm has it all. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. 3 o'clock on Saturday, we have Southampton taking on Bournemouth. Bit of a South Coast derby here. Southampton 19 to 4 plus 475. The draw is 3 to 1. Bournemouth 11 to 20 minus 180, Barry.
Yeah, Bournemouth show no signs of letting up. They had the defeat to Liverpool, obviously, last time out in the league, but did come straight back with a nice away win at Everton in the Cup. And that Liverpool defeat's just 1 in 14 games for Bournemouth now. And let's not forget how good they were in the 2 games before Liverpool, absolutely hammering Newcastle and Forest in those 2 games. All bodes well for them here, as does their away form. They've got no loss in 7 games away from home. 19 goals scored in those 7 away games as well. So they won't be bothered about going away. Scored at least 2 in every one of those 7 away games as well, by the way. Impossible to make a case for Southampton. Still can't get there. Beaten by Burnley last week. They had a win over Ipswich, which was the highlight so far in an otherwise miserable season. I think only their second win, that against Ipswich, and they've only got 3 draws as well. Bournemouth are a short price, particularly on the road, and a short price for goals also. 4-9 it was for Bournemouth to score 2 or more. So I've had to take a bit more of a risk. I do like Bournemouth. I like Bournemouth for goals. I'm going to take Bournemouth to score in both halves at 11-10.
Yeah, I've got a similar pick, Barry. I think you might like mine a bit better when you hear it. Yeah, Southampton won at Ipswich. Doesn't count for much, but it did keep up a run. 5 out of 6, both teams to score, and all 6 went over 2.5 in that run. Bournemouth, I thought, were dead unlucky when they lost to Liverpool. They didn't do much wrong at all. Made plenty of chances. With an average bit of luck, could have taken something from that game. I thought that was a false final. I think they'll win, and I think taking goals on top gives us a few opportunities, a few options, which is either Bournemouth smash them all in, but I think Southampton can chip in as well. Tall Paul might get us one. Bournemouth to win and over 2.5 total goals is even money. It's a great bet. So it could be Bournemouth 2-1, or they could get all 3 by themselves. But Bournemouth to win over 2.5 total goals at even money. Bournemouth team total over 2.5 for Joe at plus 147. So yeah, similar angle in there. Joe's gone for. 3 o'clock on Saturday is West Ham United versus Brentford. West Ham 23-17 plus 135. The draw is 5-2 plus 250. Brentford are 15-8 plus 187. West Ham played quite well the last couple of times. They played well against Chelsea. Were eventually beaten in that one. And yeah, what was the score there? West Ham equalised later. No, Chelsea won 2-1, didn't they? I think. Anyway, I thought West Ham did quite well. And they played well against Villa before that. They got a draw at Villa Park. And so my next line says they only picked up 1 point, so I've answered my own question. Potter is settling in there, I think. I think West Ham can make us some money, Baz, between now and the end of the season. I'll be looking at West Ham. I think they're going to turn up at a few decent prices, and this is one of them. Plus money against Brentford, I think is going to be fine. Brentford are really, really inconsistent, and they're still rubbish away from home, Baz. They actually lost to Spurs last time at home. I like West Ham here. I think it's a good spot for them. I think West Ham are going to... There's always one team who sort of... The pressure comes off, things come together for them. And I think West Ham might be that team between now and May. I'll take West Ham on the money line, Baz.
Yeah, I couldn't get there. You've sort of looked at it a completely different way to me with West Ham, really. Because I just don't think Potter's getting a tune out of them at all so far from what we've seen.
No, they played well the last 2 games, Baz.
1 win in 5 since early January. But the same, I don't mind your pick. I haven't, went the opposite way or anything. Because the same can be said of Brentford. They've only got 1 win in their last 5 and only 2 wins in 11 in all competitions for Brentford now. So neither side fill me with any confidence here. So then I looked at goals. Absolutely no help whatsoever. 5-5 split on the over-under in the last 10 Brentford games. And the same 5-5 split for the both teams to score in Brentford games. So you look at West Ham, they've gone 5 unders, 5 overs in their last 10 as well. So buggered that off. Struggled with a pick. So what do? Delve into the stats market a little bit.
Stats.
Brentford haven't been getting the results, but their XG looked quite high. And so then I looked at their shots. Because the XG suggests that they're getting plenty of opportunities, just not taking them. They had 4 shots on target against Spurs in that defeat, but then they had 6 in each of the previous 3, including against Liverpool and Man City. The line here is over 4.5 shots on target for Brentford. They average about 5 per game anyway. And then when you look at the West Ham side of it, West Ham are giving up nearly 6 per game in terms of shots on target. And then West Ham would have lost this line 11 of the last 13 games. They've given up at least 5 shots on target. So the pick for me here is Brentford over 4.5 shots on target at even money.
All right. When in doubt, head to the stats bars. We've been doing all right on them lately. The tea time game on Saturday is Crystal Palace take on Everton. Crystal Palace are 11-13, -117. The draw 12-5 plus 240, and Everton 7-2 plus 350. Barry.
I was immediately drawn to Palace here. First instinct, simply due to the effort put in by Everton last night. The fact also that they'll miss Doucouré now, he'll be suspended, is a big miss. But then even when you get down to the form, yep, Everton have gone well under Moyes. Great result last night. 3 straight league wins before that. There was the Bournemouth defeat in the Cup, though. But the Palace form is more than on a par with it. They've won 3 of their last 4 in the league and lost only 2 of their last 13. Everton did win the reverse fixture, but I just felt after last night, this feels like a bit of a letdown spot for Everton. I'm just going to take Palace on the money line. Palace to beat Everton at 17-20.
Palace are the better team here, Barry. No doubt about it. They've had more rest, and they're at home against a team in a big old letdown spot, Baz. Now, there's certain admirable things about Everton, and I think there's room in the league for a team like Everton. What they did last night was brilliant because they know they couldn't compete with Liverpool on a certain level. So to run around and kick shit out of everyone, and they put Doucouré up top with Bettor when they had possession and just tried to mangle it. That's great. And when we've said before that all the teams in the middle of the league, everyone's doing the same thing, and it's all right, but it's the trend, isn't it? Fulham, the teams have just been beat Newcastle, Fulham and Bournemouth, Brighton. The bottom 3 all do the same thing, Leicester, Ipswich, Southampton. It's quite refreshing, and there's a room for Everton to do what they're doing. The problem is they're still absolute shite. Like, they drew 2-2 last night. They were fucking rubbish. They've got 0 quality, like none. A couple of the big lads can defend. Do you know what I mean? Like, if it comes near them, if it moves, kick it. If it doesn't move, kick it till it does. Like, that's fine. But they're absolutely cack. Palace will beat them here. Palace 11-13, -117.
I mean, that's co-signed by our resident Everton fan in the chat as well. Michael Roberts says, Ndiaye and Doucouré will be big misses. He thinks Palace are certs.
Yeah, okay, that's good to know. Doucouré will be a huge miss because he does the running around kicking stuff. He's actually not a terrible footballer, which about 8 of them are. So, yeah, that's going to be a massive loss there. So, yeah, cheers for that, Michael. Back to us. So, I wasn't having a dig. Michael thinks I'm having a dig at Everton. I'm giving a perfectly balanced handicap for all the people in Zambia and Nepal and Uzbekistan who want to get on Palace and earn themselves a few shekels or whatever they have. Sunday, we go to... I wrote this down. Yeah. A 2:00 kickoff between Liverpool and Wolverhampton Wanderers. Liverpool 1-5, -500. The draw is 13-2 plus 650. Wolves are 10-1 plus 1,000. I've dug out the arse sniffer of the week here, Barry, on this game. You'll be pleased to hear. So get your pen out ready for this. I didn't think Liverpool were very good last night, particularly. Everton made it really difficult for them. I think they got away with it, largely due to Mo Salah and in part due to having some better players. And that's allowed. You are allowed to have better players than some of the other teams. That's the idea, if anything. But they were second best for large parts of the game. Still looking dodgy at the back. They've only kept 2 clean sheets in 6. And they were looking to get those. Those 2 clean sheets were Brentford and Bournemouth away. Bournemouth could have had 3. And Brentford made plenty chances as well. So they don't look like keeping a clean sheet, Liverpool. There's probably about 17 teams in the league. I might have tried to factor in a bit more, but Wolves aren't really one of them. They're 2 points now above the relegation zone after that much-needed win against Villa last time. They've got a terrible record against these teams in the top 7, Baz. They've played 11 games, drawn 1 and lost 10. So they haven't laid a finger on any team in the top half of the table. My angle here, Baz, is that this is going to be a slow burner. We've just talked about the letdown spot for Everton. Emotionally, physically, Liverpool put a lot in the other night. I think it might take them some time to grind it out. They'll ultimately probably win 2-0 with goals in the 73rd and 83rd minutes. Under 1.5 first half goals, but 5 to 6, -120. I absolutely adore it. Pick of the week. It's going to be a slow burner, this. Now teaches half time. Liverpool win 2-0. Under 1.5 first half goals, 5 to 6.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I couldn't get anything that favoured Wolves at all here. Unconfirmed who's going to be in the dugout on Sunday, given that half of the coaching team got sent off for their ill discipline last night. Probably dragging Kenny Dalglish out the stands or something to run the show. I suspect Slot will probably appeal his and he'll still be in the dugout at the weekend. It's what they usually do, isn't it? They'll delay it, put it off.
Sammy Lee.
None of that really matters anyway, let's be honest. Rough week for the red side of Liverpool, out of the FA Cup, drop points versus Everton. No big drama really in terms of the league, still a healthy 7-point lead and still not beaten since Forest early in the season. Wolves did have a good win last time out against Villa, but that followed 3 straight defeats. The top 6 sides you just mentioned, they don't do very well against those. Arsenal, Newcastle, Chelsea, all beating them. They also played Forest not that far off there as well, making it 4 defeats against top 6 sides recently, and they only scored 1 goal against those 4 sides as well, which is the concern, I think, with Wolves. I mean, 1 to 5 for Liverpool makes it difficult. Liverpool, I think, will win, but where do you go to find a bet? Because they haven't really looked like blowing teams away on a lot of occasions this season. But having said that, the last 2 home games have just won 4-0 against Spurs, 4-1 against Ipswich. I really struggled here, and it's the prices that made it difficult. It's another pick I'm not wildly keen on, to be honest. I think Liverpool will win, and they'll win by at least 2. Problem is, I need them to win by 3 to cash a winner. A little bit of insurance. It's the Asian handicap. Liverpool -2. They've got plenty of 2-goal victories, Liverpool. They just don't very often get the 3s and the 4s. But I'm going to take a chance. Liverpool -2 on the Asian handicap at 10 to 11. So if they win by 2, that's a push. If they win by 3 or more, I'm a winner.
I can't believe you haven't just gone with my pick, Barry. My pick's absolutely mint. You should have just co-signed that. 4:30 on Sunday. What a game this is. Wow. Tottenham Hotspur take on Manchester United. Incredible stuff here. Tottenham have drifted, actually. They are plus 145. They were plus 137, Tottenham, 11 to 8. The draw is 27 to 10, plus 270. Man United 17 to 10, plus 170. Both teams to lose, Barry, here.
What a game to finish off with. Two teams very much on the do not bet list at the moment. So it's then, can you make a case for one over the other? The books can barely split them, pretty much neck and neck in the betting. Astonishing, really, when you look at Man United's form, that they've won 5 of their last 7 games in all competitions. However, that doesn't tell the story at all. They were fortunate against Leicester, late winners against Southampton and Rangers, and it's hard to single out any of those 5 victories and think they played well there or they were really deserved winners. Spurs haven't got much of a note either recently, other than the win over Brentford and, of course, the win in the first leg over Liverpool in the semi-final. It's another horrible one, but I'm still happy to just continue taking Man United on against pretty much anyone. Both very close in the betting, so then I'll give Spurs the edge because they're at home. Although, saying that, Man United are shite at Old Trafford anyway. 2 ways to play it. Take Spurs to win, or do you just take the Spurs team total? Spurs to score 2 or more at 5 to 6, but I think I'm just going to go for the bigger price. I'm going to take Spurs to win 6 to 4.
Harry's gone for Man United to win 3-2. I don't know if he's taking the piss. Tottenham won at Brentford last time. I know we're saying that they're unbackable. Well, I backed them last time at a massive price and they won. It was their first win in 9. Since then, they were dog shit against Liverpool in the Cup. They were dog shit against Villa in the FA Cup. Man United were dog shit against Leicester in the Cup. The dog shit against Palace in the league before that. So that's my handicap of all of that. Is there a reason one team can improve? The answer is yes, Barry. And it's at Spurs getting some players back. And I do think Spurs look capable of winning a game. I know Man United have they won at Fulham, but did they really? Spurs just look more capable of turning them over. And it's a coin toss. Spurs will do their usual coin toss thing. They might win, they might lose, but they're 11-8. Give me 11-8 heads or tails, Baz. I'll snap your hand off. So I'm getting 11-8 on what I see is Tottenham as a coin toss. So I'm with you, Barry. I'll take Tottenham at 11-8 plus 137.
Well, I had them at 6-4, so shop around because you can definitely get better than 11.
Yeah, as I say, they're about plus 145 now, so they're not far away. Yeah. Lee wants those two big spamhead centre backs. Shots on target for Man United. De Ligt, 2 shots, 4-1, and Maguire 3-1. Shot not on target, just shots. Spurs terrible at defending set pieces. Nice angle, Lee. Like that. Baz, exotics. We have done 10 matches in the books. Do you want to lead us off with some fancy stuff?
Yeah, I'll start off with, where are we? My lock. It's going to be Arsenal on the handicap. I think Arsenal will duff Leicester up one way or another. Arsenal minus 1.5 handicap at 10-11 will be my lock. My underdog, I'm going to take Newcastle to beat Man City. You get around 5-2 for that. And my scorer is going to be Philippe Mateta, 21-10, anytime scorer, and 5-1 first or last.
Okay. My corned beef pie, Baz. I really like it, and I'm just taking the bottom 3 to get beat. It's not big or clever. I won't win any awards. But Villa, Bournemouth, and Arsenal, it's 9-5 plus 180. Do you know what I mean? Beautiful little bet, that. 3 absolute dog shit teams who aren't attempting in any way to stop up. They'll all get beat. My stake in Stilton one. Brighton, it's home to Chelsea. Forest, away at Fulham. And West Ham, and I haven't priced that up actually. Forest, Bosch, West Ham, and Brighton is 22-1 for that little treble, Baz. Anytime goal scorer, I've gone with Semenyo at Bournemouth. He's back on pens now. Clive had got a bit of an injury, so Semenyo's on penalties. And Bournemouth could easily rack up 3, 4, or 5 against Southampton. Southampton's conceded 5 goals at home on more than one occasion this season. So I like Semenyo. My luck's going to be from that game, Bournemouth to win in the over 2.5 goals. I think they can muller them. And for my dog, I had to stick with Nottingham Forest, Baz.
Yeah, so I'll give my Ackers. My corned beef pie Acker is an over 2.5 treble. Fulham v Forest, West Ham v Brentford, Liverpool v Wolves. All 3 of those to come in over 2.5 goals is 7-2. I mean, stake in Stilton Acker is it's almost an underdog treble. Spurs aren't quite underdogs, but I've taken Spurs to beat Man United, Newcastle to beat City, and Forest to beat Fulham, 26-1.
Nice. We've got a draw treble here off Michael. Brighton, Chelsea, West Ham, Brentford, Spurs, Man United. 3 draws at 47-1. That'll do us, Michael. Barry, what's this week's slow roller picks?
We're not slow rolling. We have got a ladder though. Forget the slow roller. We didn't mention that. Yeah, we're not mentioning that again.
Sorry,
ladders. We're going to go with an Arsenal corner ladder here. They haven't got any forwards, so they're going to be relying on Gabriel or Saliba to knock one in from a Declan Rice corner. In all competitions for Arsenal, 7 of their last 9 games have gone into double figures for Arsenal team corners, and they've hit 13 in 2 of their last 3 games as well. So I'm going to start off with over 7.5 Arsenal corners at 6-5. Over 8.5 is 2-1. Over 9.5, 3-1. Over 10.5, 5-1. Over 11.5, 8-1. And we'll finish off with over 12.5. As I say, they've done that twice in the last 3. 12-1 for Arsenal to get 13 or more corners. So we'll start at over 7.5 Arsenal corners and we'll climb all the way up to over 12.5.
Nice, Baz. Yeah, we've done Arsenal corners a few times. I think, Barry, with 20 seconds to go before the hour, we've crammed everything in there. Do you have anything you want to tell the people before we let them go?
No, that's it. I'm done.
Okay. I would like to wish all the ladies listening a happy Valentine's Day. If you you want to get the Premier League Gambling podcast calendar featuring me and Barry in various states of undress, because it's February, that's now it's on offer in the merch store. So by all means, go. You can have a look. I might even have me cheesy baton out in the summer months. So look forward to that. Thanks all the men as well. Don't be left out, gentlemen. We know it's hard for men lately. So we wish you a happy Valentine's Day as well. I hope they all like their Tesco flowers. I've had a right result with these flowers, Baz. There's always some just tied to a lamppost on the main road around the corner here. Just free to help yourself. So I always just get them for our last. It's a right result. So that's worked out for me. Right, cheers, everybody. We'll be back Sunday or Monday or some shit like that. Is the Champions League on next week?
Yep.
I think it must be.
Yeah, it is.
It is. Oh, there you go.
I think we've got a couple of Premier League games next week as well.
Oh, nice. Okay, then. Well, keep your eyes peeled for the schedule. Go in, thumbs up, like, rate, review, all that malarkey. And we will see you all down the road. Cheers.